A neuron, also known as a nerve cell, is the basic structural and functional unit of the nervous system. It is responsible for transmitting electrical and chemical signals throughout the body, allowing us to sense and respond to our environment, move our muscles, and think and feel. There are several types of neurons, including sensory neurons. These neurons receive input from sensory organs, such as the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin, and transmit this information to the brain and spinal cord. Motor neurons. These neurons transmit signals from the brain and spinal cord to muscles and glands, enabling us to move and produce secretions. Interneurons. These neurons connect sensory and motor neurons and form complex circuits within the brain and spinal cord that process and integrate information. Mirror neurons. These neurons are found in the brain and are activated both when we perform a particular action and when we observe someone else performing the same action. Pyramidal neurons. These are the most common type of neuron in the cerebral cortex and are involved in many cognitive functions, such as memory, attention, and decision-making. Purkinje neurons. These neurons are located in the cerebellum, which is responsible for motor coordination and balance. Bipolar neurons. These neurons have two distinct processes, one dendrite and one axon, and are found in sensory organs, such as the retina of the eye and the olfactory epithelium in the nose. Sensory neurons, also known as afferent neurons, are specialized cells that are part of the nervous system and are responsible for transmitting sensory information from the body's internal and external environment to the central nervous system, CNS. When a sensory neuron is stimulated, it generates an electrical impulse that travels along its axon to the CNS, where the information is processed and interpreted. This allows us to sense and respond to changes in our environment, such as temperature, touch, pain, pressure, sound, and light. Sensory neurons are classified based on the type of stimuli they detect. For example, photoreceptors, these sensory neurons in the eye detect light and help us see. Mechanoreceptors, these sensory neurons detect mechanical stimuli such as touch, pressure, vibration, and stretch. They are found in the skin, muscles, joints, and internal organs. Chemoreceptors, these sensory neurons detect chemical stimuli such as taste, smell, and changes in the body's chemical environment. Motor neurons, also known as efferent neurons, are specialized cells that are part of the nervous system and are responsible for transmitting signals from the central nervous system, CNS, to the muscles and glands in the body. When a motor neuron is stimulated, it generates an electrical impulse that travels along its axon to the muscle or gland, where it triggers a response. Motor neurons are responsible for controlling voluntary movements, such as walking, talking, and making facial expressions, as well as involuntary movements, such as breathing and heartbeat. Motor neurons are classified based on their function. For example, somatic motor neurons. These neurons control the contraction of skeletal muscles, which are responsible for voluntary movement. Autonomic motor neurons. These neurons control the contraction of smooth muscle, cardiac muscle, and glandular cells, which are responsible for involuntary processes such as digestion, circulation, and excretion. Motor neurons are essential for our ability to move and respond to our environment. Damage or dysfunction. Interneurons, also known as association neurons, are specialized cells that are part of the nervous system and act as a link between sensory neurons and motor neurons. Interneurons are primarily located in the spinal cord and brain, where they form complex circuits that process and integrate information. When a sensory neuron is stimulated, it sends a signal to the spinal cord or brain, where interneurons process and interpret the information before transmitting it to motor neurons, which then generate a response. Interneurons can also modulate the activity of sensory and motor neurons, allowing for more complex and refined movements and behaviors. Interneurons are classified based on their function and location. For example, local interneurons. These neurons connect sensory and motor neurons within the same region of the spinal cord or brain. Relay interneurons. These neurons connect sensory and motor neurons in different regions of the spinal cord or brain. Inhibitory interneurons. These neurons release inhibitory neurotransmitters, which decrease the activity of neighboring neurons and help regulate. Mirror neurons are specialized cells that are located in the brain and are believed to be involved in our ability to imitate and understand the actions of others. Mirror neurons were first discovered in monkeys, where they were found to activate when the monkey observed another monkey performing a specific action, such as grasping an object. Research has suggested that mirror neurons play a role in a wide range of human behaviors, including empathy, imitation, and language acquisition. Mirror neurons are thought to be involved in the development of social skills, allowing us to learn and communicate through observation and imitation. When we observe someone performing an action, mirror neurons in our brain are activated, and we may experience a sensation similar to actually performing the action ourselves. This allows us to understand the intentions and emotions of others, and to learn and acquire new skills through observation and imitation. Mirror neurons have been implicated in a range of neurological disorders, including autism, where it is thought that dysfunction of the mirror neuron system may contribute to social and communication deficit. Pyramidal neurons are a type of large, multipolar neuron that are found in the cerebral cortex of the brain. They are characterized by a distinctive pyramid-shaped cell body and a single, long axon that extends from the cell body and branches out to form many smaller dendrites. Pyramidal neurons are one of the most common types of neurons in the cerebral cortex and are involved in a wide range of cognitive and motor functions, including sensory perception, memory, learning, and movement. They receive input from other neurons in the brain and send output to other neurons or to motor neurons that control muscle movement. The axons of pyramidal neurons form the major projection pathways in the brain, allowing them to communicate with other regions of the brain and spinal cord. Pyramidal neurons are also involved in the formation and maintenance of synaptic connections, which are crucial for learning and memory. Abnormalities in the structure or function of pyramidal neurons have been implicated in a range of neurological and psychiatric disorders, including Alzheimer's disease, schizophrenia, and epilepsy. Purkinje neurons are a type of large, highly branched neuron that are found in the cerebellum, a region of the brain that is important for motor coordination and balance. Purkinje neurons are named after Jan Evangelista Purkin, a Czech anatomist who first described them in 1839. Purkinje neurons receive input from a variety of sources, including sensory receptors in the muscles, joints, and skin, as well as other regions of the brain. They integrate this information and use it to control the activity of other neurons in the cerebellum that are involved in motor control and learning. Purkinje neurons are notable for their highly branched dendritic trees, which allow them to receive input from a large number of synapses. They also have a unique firing pattern, in which they exhibit a series of complex spikes interspersed with simple spikes. Damage or dysfunction of Purkinje neurons can result in a range of neurological disorders, including ataxia, a condition characterized by poor coordination and balance. Bipolar neurons are a type of specialized sensory neuron that are found in the retina of the eye, as well as in the olfactory epithelium of the nose. They are named for their unique shape, which resembles a bipolar cell with two distinct branches. Bipolar neurons in the retina play a critical role in visual processing. They receive input from photoreceptor cells, which detect light and convert it into electrical signals, and transmit this information to other neurons in the retina and eventually to the brain. Bipolar neurons are involved in processing the contrast and color of visual stimuli, as well as detecting movement and depth perception. Bipolar neurons in the olfactory epithelium are involved in the sense of smell. They receive input from specialized receptor cells in the nose, which detect different types of odor molecules. Bipolar neurons transmit this information to other neurons in the olfactory bulb of the brain, where it is processed and interpreted as different types of smells. Damage or dysfunction of bipolar neurons can result in a range of sensory disorders, including vision and olfactory impairment.